After what happened during the election, some Dems are saying that they have the momentum and that Tuesday's election shows voters have turned on President Trump.
The Republicans lost badly last night, and the reason that they lost badly is that people are really quite disgruntled and disgusted with Trumpism in a general sense.
If there is any idea that Republicans are going to be able to outrun Donald Trump's low approval ratings, this says, nah, they're going to be like impalas getting chased down in the African desert by a big lion. The bottom line is this: what those results on Tuesday night showed us is that Donald Trump is absolutely a drag on Republican candidates in New Jersey and Virginia, likely nationwide. If you are in a state where Donald Trump is underwater, you are in big trouble.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and the F Your Feelings crowd is having a hell of a lot of feelings bubbling up lately, and it's because Donald Trump and MAGA got a rude awakening on election night.
I don't think it was good for Republicans. I don't think it was good. I'm not sure it was good for anybody, but we had an interesting evening, and we learned a lot.
I don't remember ever hearing Donald Trump even come close to eating crow. I'm not saying he ate crow, but he came closer than I've ever heard in that soundbite.
It was a blue tsunami that left absolutely no doubt in anyone's minds about how freaking pissed off the American people are. The results started coming in immediately, and it was clear. They were landslides. It wasn't even just Abigail Spanberger defying the odds and humiliating Lieutenant Governor Sears in Virginia. It was Mickey Sherrill embarrassing Trump pick John Ciattarelli in New Jersey. And probably the biggest perceived victory of the night was that of 34-year-old Zohan Mamdani winning the mayoral race in New York City, throwing every talking MAGA hemorrhoid into a psychotic episode of fear, hate, and delusion.
We got handed to us in New Jersey, Virginia, and New York City. Democrats swept all three.
Last night, it was, not expected to be a victory. It was very Democrat areas, but I don't think it was good for Republicans.
Republicans did not have a good day. So anyone who says, well, not really that, but no, it was bad.
You talk about being shaken to the bone. Republicans know what is coming because the November 4th election made it crystal clear to them. The people are not happy with losing SNAP benefits while billionaires throw lavish parties. Not happy with ICE goons snatching off neighbors off the streets and kids out of schools. And certainly not happy with Donald Trump trying to pay himself $230 million using our tax dollars as compensation for mental pain and suffering. And every one of those Republican bootlickers know that they are going to lose their asses in the midterms. And to make it worse, Trump threw them all under the bus faster than a televangelist hiding donation receipts. Trump blamed Republicans, the donors, the candidates, the so-called moderates, the media, anyone but himself. The man could bulldoze his own house and blame the wrecking crew. Oh wait, he did that already. Somebody should just take his damn phone away because we shouldn't have to listen to his belly aching like a captive audience trapped in a bad movie about dementia, body odor, and bad decisions. Donald Trump got swept away in a blue tidal wave of public opinion. He lost his mind over it and is having a meltdown. And speaking about body odor and bad decisions, that walking, talking elbow scab Steve Bannon is trying to circle the wagons and put on a show that he's being defiant. But the truth is that this false sense of security that he was peddling was too big of a lie for anyone. Bannon brought in backup, a shield, and the occasional Trump bootlicker, Chip Roy.
This election, let's be very clear, this is a wake-up call that if you don't lead and lead with a clear vision and a clear direction, you're going to get absolutely slaughtered.
Roy came in hollering about a bloodbath and the slaughter if Republicans didn't pull their heads out of their He flat out said that they were all going to lose the 2026 midterms and went off on several tangents that made no sense at all. Roy tried to say that Democrats want to extend the shutdown into the holidays, but that's simply not true. It's Roy's Republicans that are treating this whole situation like a paid vacation while using food as a weapon to gaslight anybody into thinking that Democrats are to blame. People are sick and tired of the chaos, the cruelty of Donald Trump's policies, and the bold-faced lies. And that frustration was more than evident in Tuesday's election results. People came out and delivered a massive blow to Donald Trump in the form of a vote. And Trump immediately went into the paranoid rant of a delusional crackpot. You just watch. Donald Trump is going to hunker down in that ballroom bunker and never leave. And if you think that's far-fetched, why are members of his own cabinet moving onto military bases? It is because they think that's going to save them from a public revolt over food and basic living integrity. And you got to remember that a lot of those soldiers who live on base often qualify for food assistance. How's it going to sit with your neighbors when they know you made their lives harder while making bank? Or is that these lowlifes want to be closer to an airfield that they can use to escape to Argentina when the hits the fan? So many questions, so many bad guys. And while that moldy can of spam, Steve Bannon, and his sidekick Chip Roy were out there doing their clown song and dance routine like some twisted version of Good Cop, Bad Cop, CBS News chief Washington analyst Robert Costa came on CBS Mornings with Gayle King and laid out all the receipts. No theatrics, no conspiracies, just straight facts. Costa calmly explained what actually happened. That Democrats cleaned house by talking about economy, affordability, and working families. Meanwhile, Republicans were out here ranting about Sharia law and imaginary immigrant health care bills. Look, at the end of the day, people in this country are fed up. They're tired of the hatred that gets spewed every single day. And most of that is coming from the right. Folks are waking up, finally realizing that this country's been conned by greed and grifters who couldn't care less about working Americans. The government isn't shut down because Democrats refused to do the right thing. It's shut down because Republicans demanded we take 22 million people off of health care. That's the truth. That's the garbage people are sick of. And you can see it in the polls. Donald Trump's disapproval rating is higher right now than it was right after January 6th. 63% of Americans want nothing to do with him. The man's underwater and Republicans know it. That's why they don't want him showing up to the campaign for them. He's political poison. Trump has become a pariah, and every one of them knows that standing next to him is career suicide. Talk about anybody in New York City, and they'll tell you Trump's been a stain in that city for 50 years. His father was a sack of shit refusing to rent to people of color. Donald Trump got hauled into court for doing the exact same thing. How any person of color could vote for Donald Trump is beyond me. You either getting paid or you're just that damn stupid. And the hypocrisy doesn't end there. These same Republicans ran on releasing the Epstein files, said it would be day one, and now it's 10 months later and they're still holding them. You know why? Because they all know who's on that list. They all know. So yeah, Republicans are terrified, and they should be. They're watching their emperor melt down in real time while the whole movement collapses under the weight of its own lies. And that right there is what a reckoning looks like. And that is an absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way. What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and thank you so much for watching. If you're into what we're doing here, hit that like button because it really helps. And if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to Rebel HQ and ring that bell so you never miss an upload. I've also got a playlist with all my videos, so feel free to dive in and catch up. And if you're over the corporate spin and want real people power news, hit that join button and be part of the movement. We could not do this without your support. Seriously, thank you. Stay informed, stay engaged, and I'll see you in the next one. And that's a fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.